Welcome to Insurance Claim Radio, where leading hail loss consumer advocate Phil Coutu and his team of experts teach you how to avoid the pitfalls of hail damage claims and how to use his team of experts to get what you truly deserve under your insurance policy. Now, here's your host of Insurance Claim Radio, Phil Coutu.
Hello, my name is Phil Coutu, and I'm your host for Insurance Claims Radio. Today in the studio, we're going to be talking about a lot of topics related to hail damages for commercial and residential properties throughout the Colorado market and other states as well. One of our guests today is Ryan Mordhurst. He's with Blue Ribbon Exteriors. Ryan's cell number is 720-975-4253. Their office is 720-227-9330. Our other guest is Mike Neely from Pro Roof Solutions. His phone number is 720-628-7293. He's a professional roofer and contractor in the Denver and Colorado Springs area. And our other guest today is James D'Angelo. James is a building construction major. He's a public adjuster and a general contractor. His phone number is 303-885-3731. And obviously I'm your host, Phil Coutu, and we're going to get right into it talking about claims and trying to help consumers manage the insurance claim and hail process. That's our specialty. I'm an adjuster. I've done claims over many, many decades. I'm also a roofing contractor and general contractor. Started when I was 13 years old and running a company here in Colorado, rooftoproofing.com and rooftop-restoration.com. One of our first topics we're going to start on today is going to be about mediation. Mediation is, it can be ordered by the court, or it can be agreed to by the parties. It's similar to arbitration. And myself and James D'Angelo just went through a mediation last week. And it was on, we ended up settling the claim. We can't disclose the insurance company. It's a confidential agreement, but we can talk a little bit about the claim. It was a large church that suffered hail damage. It had a modified bitumen roof on it. It had an EPDM roof, and it had a whole lot of standing seam commercial grade metal. And we had about baseball size hail. And we signed this claim up about a year ago, probably about 16 months ago, under one of my construction contracts, which contained a power of an attorney and some other clauses to give us the right to take over the claim and pursue it. We covered all the costs. We racked up a lot of costs. Actually, we racked up over $600,000 in costs to win the claim. And we spent a full day in mediation last week. And in a nutshell, what had happened is the insurance company had stated that there's a cosmetic exclusion. Problem being that the insurance company not only excluded everything associated with the roof, they excluded exterior damages such as windows, stucco, fences, lights, and we were saying that was just wrong. But the insurance company, a prominent insurance company, decided, nope, we don't know for this. And so here was the big key. It wasn't small hail, it was baseball size hail. Although it didn't tear the metal, it severely damaged the metal. Although you couldn't see a lot of damage on the flat roofs, it damaged the flat roofs forensically. So we set out putting the claim together. We wrote an approximate $1 million estimate. Actually, I think it was $949,000 for all the damages that we saw. We presented that, and then we put together a team of experts. We hired a professional meteorologist. We did a moisture survey. We hired a roof inspector. We hired an engineer. Trying to think, who else did we hire? James, do you recall what else did we hire? We had about
moisture. We had moisture. We did hire a forensic engineer. I'm trying to think, Phil. I think that actually covers it all.
A weather expert, yeah, the engineer.
You know, one other part, Phil, not to interrupt you, it did have a tar and gravel on it also in parts.
Yeah, we did also have a tar and gravel with modified parapet walls. And that claim got smashed about 2.5 years ago. It almost went past the statute of limitations when we got it. We were able to preserve that and file a claim. And we're going to just take a quick break, and we'll be right back to discuss that claim and the relation to mediation here at Insurance Claim Radio.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration, 303-997-4247, 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftоprestoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
Hi, this is Phil. We're back with Insurance Claim Radio. You can reach me anytime or check out our website at rooftoproofing.com. My personal number for calling is 720-296-3492. If you need an estimate or advice, you can contact us at our office at 303-997-4247. And we're here today talking about hail claims and a commercial hail claim, and we're going to discuss the show mediation. So we just got back, and we've got our panel here. And me and James are mostly involved in this one. We got Ryan and Mike from their respective companies on each side of us. And so we're going to pick up. We fought this claim. We had all our experts in line. We had our estimates in line. And we decided to go to mediation as we'd filed suit just to preserve the claim. And the reason that we'd filed suit is like we have a church that received zero damages or zero payment from an insurance company. And we're like, this just isn't right. The church was smashed up. You could see damage from the ground. And there's also legitimate damage too, like stucco and windows that cosmetic exclusion wouldn't cover. So the big key with cosmetic exclusions is it really truly cosmetic, or is there a structural element? And that's what we had to get to. So we were able to actually spend the whole day mediation. We went back and forth. They came up, figured that there was about $400,000, $500,000. I can't give you exact details. It's confidential settlement in exterior damages. They're still arguing about excluding portions of the roofing. So we went back and forth, and the whole premise of mediation is it's like kind of like a last resort or a pre-resort to your whole court filing, spending a bunch of money in attempts to settle. So what happens generally is you get your party together. It'd be your group guys, us, the policyholder, our experts. This case, we had an attorney. The other side was the insurance company, their adjuster. I'm not sure who their experts were over there, and their attorney. And there's a mediator that's usually a retired judge or a professional arbitrator. And he goes back and forth between the two parties. And it's a very slow process. And we always... I always tell people, it is a slow process, but hang in there till the end of the day. So for an example, we start moving, I can't remember the exact number, I think it was about $20,000, $30,000 that they came back with extra above, where all of a sudden they're at $400,000. So we're at zero walking in, they're at $400,000 and then about $420,000. And we go back and forth, and we explain, we had to explain all the forensic elements, and that's something here at rooftoproofing.com. I've been an adjuster spanning several decades, and in this business my whole life. I think I'm 33 or 34 years now. And so you develop a tremendous amount of experience. You know who the good experts are. And so we started presenting our claim in mediation. You go back and forth to the arbitrator, and we sent over pictures. And I'll let James jump into and talk a little bit about that mediation.
Yeah, it was just an interesting back and forth. Of course, the insurance company wants to pay the least amount they can. They're not good or bad. They're businesses, just like any other business. So, like Phil said, we eventually got to $400,000. I think one of the interesting things that Phil mentioned today is that he said you got to stay into the whole day. I can tell you at 5:30 that afternoon, we still hadn't gotten past probably $550,000. Within 2 hours, we ended up settling at $1.5 million. But it took all day with all of our experts demonstrating to them that they actually owe the claim.
Right, and the big thing about these claims, so when I was an adjuster, I'd been on the other side of the insurance industry. And, you know, it is a business, and the insurance company has their beliefs. You do have a contract that you paid premiums for. So when we believe that it's way past that cosmetic exclusion, or the cosmetic exclusion, like one of the things is it's not just, every cosmetic exclusion is different, is the big thing. Some are written certain ways, some contradict some other language in the policy. So that we're trying to let the public know that when you go to mediation or you get these cosmetic exclusions, you really have to have a solid professional look at it, interpret it. Almost not even attorneys. Sometimes the attorneys, you really want an experienced adjuster, public adjuster, and a couple opinions. Here at Rooftop, I also own Power Appraisers. I'm also personally licensed as a public adjuster. And I can draw upon all my experience. And a lot of times we lose because a lot of times when I worked for the insurance, they'd give me an interpretation. But when I'm working for the insurance, remember, that's our interpretation. So you got two sides to the fence. Now you go on to the private adjuster side or the contractor side. Well, they have their interpretation. You know, so it's hard for the public and the consumer out there to always really handle, like, what's the truth here? It's like watching politics these days. You're going over to Fox News, you're going back to MSNBC or CNN, and it's like opposite sides of the fence, and you're trying to figure out the truth. Well, the truth does lie somewhere in the middle of the road, and sometimes it just outright lies on both sides. So that's what you hire a professional to figure out for you, and then make sure your professional explains it to you why they feel the cosmetic exclusion isn't as good as the insurance company is saying, or maybe it is. You really want to get that opinion because there's many different ways in this business to skin a cat on a claim and win, and that's what we're here for. So we're going to get back to our mediation, going back and forth, and like James said, it was 5:30, and we were less than a third of the way there, and the lawyers were tired. They're ready to walk out. This isn't going to work. But I've done over I was trying to up how many of these I've done in my life, but definitely north of 20, probably more closer to 30. James D'Angelo, this gentleman sitting across from me, he's 63. He's done many on his watch as well, and I've done them on both sides. But the beautiful thing was, we had, when we walked in, $0, and we walked out north of $1.5 million with a confidential settlement. And you know, there's attorney's fees and expert fees, but the beautiful thing is that our client is getting a brand new roof. It's getting their hail damage fixed. They're getting put back to pre-loss condition. You know, obviously one of the other things is you could buy a little bit better policy, pay a little bit more money. You might still have a dispute on your hand on amount of damage and things that are damaged and degrees of damage, but you want to definitely look out in those policies. And we actually had a great time on this mediation. Me and James did, putting our heads together. And one of the things that made a large difference is our prep work. You know, weeks before, you know, you like to do it weeks and months before, myself and James were going through files, and we found many errors and contradictory statements in the engineer's report. I'm going to change the numbers up slightly because it is confidential, but let's just say our engineer was at 1.5-inch hail. And when we got done with our expert meteorologist $3,000 later, we're able to prove that on that site location, there was 2.75-inch hail. Now, the kinetic energy from those two is almost 10 times. 10 times or 1,000%. Yeah.
Difference.
We also found in the insurance company's engineer that they had stated that not only was the hail only 1.5, but they had also stated that, you know, for that kind of panel, it takes 2.5-inch hail to structurally damage it. And so we highlighted that and we blew that up in the engineer's report. And then we took our weather report and showed, hey, we don't just have 1.5 inch hail, guys. We got 2.75. And your own expert's saying 2.5. He blew it. And then James had found some other things, snow on the panels, getting into the dimples, which is a frozen precipitation that does alter the water flow off of that panel and impede the water speed, which can cause water back up. And so we put everything together. We won that on the metal roofs. We ended up in the whole settlement, our client now is getting all of their roofs redone and some exterior work.
Phil, I'd like to just break in here a minute. One thing I want to point out to our listeners, every claim is different. No two are alike, and one of the reasons there's discrepancies is the policy itself is purposely written vague. It gives the carrier the opportunity to tell you what it pays for. The truth is, your own experts will come up with something else sometimes. Right,
our own experts, and the biggest key is, an expert is an independent opinion, but it's really fascinating if you take my mind, James' mind, our experts, and we're out there. We do the hard, dirty work. So there's a lot of fast-running public adjusters, insurance companies, and they miss a lot. What we do is we actually do the hard work. We go out to that site many times. We mock everything up. We look at the damages. We put our heads together. And, it's amazing what we find. A perfect example is an EPDM membrane takes about 3 to 3.5 inch hail. And we have a problem winning those because, the membrane's not damaged. It's a rubber, almost like a tire material. Well, one of the times that I was just stopping by early in the morning, there was lots of condensation and the sun was hitting it and drying it out. But because there was holes through the membrane and some of the moisture had gotten through, I was able to capture photos about the size of a coffee lid, showing that, hey, we actually have fractures in this membrane. Because even your experts out there crawling around the roof, they can't, maybe you've got one every 6 or 8 or 10 square feet. So it's very, very important. I was able to capture that. It's about my 7th time on the job. I never seen it the first 7 times. And that's a huge winner. Helps our experts. It helps us prove baseball hail hit it. All right, we'll be back in a few minutes with Insurance Claims Radio.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration, 303-997-4247, 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftоprestoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
Hi, we're back live at Insurance Claims Radio. We're discussing hail property damage. We've got James D'Angelo, Ryan, and Mike Neely. Basically, they run down like this. Ryan's with Blue Ribbon Exteriors, 720-227-9330. Mike Neely, veteran in the roofing business. He owns Pro Roof Solutions. He can be reached at 720-628-7293. And we've got James D'Angelo, public adjuster, general contractor, building construction major. He can be reached at 303-885-3731. And I'm your host, Phil Coutu, with rooftоproofing.com, 303-997-4247. All right, we're going to take back up the topic of mediation. We're just talking about how my 7th trip out on a roof, I was able to find the mysterious hail damage that we had. All the experts had a hard time finding on an EPDM membrane, and how important it is to have your experts and have them take the time. One of the big things with our company at rooftоproofing.com is we've slowed our company down. We got rid of a lot of salespeople. It's just me and a few gentlemen, and we take the claims now it's more of a challenge for us. We're not just looking about our small fees we make off the money or the construction. And it's made a really big difference. It always has. The more time you have gentlemen that are really thinking and that have a good wit about them, makes a huge difference in settling these claims. So our main thing is mediation. We're in mediation. We went back and forth. We ended up walking out with 0 damages, and we ended up going in with 0 damages, walking out with north of 1.5 million. We want to discuss mediation so everybody understands out there. Ryan, what's your experience with mediation? I know you've been to several.
I think for mediation that like you guys said, everything's different. You're going in there. It's all about how you look at the claim and how the claim is managed from front to end, meaning like you said, Phil, that you went out there 8 times and on the 8th time you found something new. So I think one thing for the listeners, and if you're a contractor, is you can't keep going out there at noon. You got to go out there in the morning. You've got to run water. You've got to look at every aspect that you can in order to figure out what the issues are to the portion. For us in mediation, very same thing. We go through the file at the very beginning. We look at the file before we go into mediation to make sure that we understand everything. We see what the experts reported on both sides and then come up with a game plan. And that's kind of what you have to do in order to take care of your customer, yourself, and make sure that you're managing the insurance company on the portions that they're telling and everybody's being truthful through the process. And, we win those mediations through that process. And like I said, everything's one piece at a time and managing everybody from around the room.
Yeah, so in mediation, you're going back and forth. The whole goal is to settle, but you're still explaining the facts because everyone's got alternative facts. Let's put it that way. The insurance company has their whole set of alternative facts.
It's their own opinion.
Right. And we have our opinions. And so a lot of times you got to remember an insurance company, when you get up to the higher levels and their attorneys are involved, their attorneys are not adjusters or construction professionals. So it's like putting a snowball going down a mountain. The snowball gets bigger and bigger. So when somebody holds on to a lie, no matter what size it is, it starts to become more and more you can see it clear. It just gets bigger and bigger. But sometimes we have to go to the attorneys and help the other side connect the dots because they're being told one thing and they're hanging their hat on it until they come in and get another whole side explain it to you. And it's just like in life. We're always looking. You're seeking the truth. The truth is sometimes buried and hidden, and you got to find it. When you find the truth, you usually win. In this case, you win your hail claim. And Mike, you had a question. I saw you put your finger up over there.
Yeah, I was going to ask Phil, why is all this? There's so much confidential information there that they're wanting to protect. Is the insurance company wanting to protect? The client protect? What? Tell us about that.
All right, so I'll give you a great example of that, Mike. So we had to do a confidentiality agreement on this, and we all had to admit to no wrongdoing. So in essence, to get the claim settled and avoid the lengthy court battle, which probably we're in federal court, be another 2 years, year and 3/4. Everybody wants a non-confidential agreement. Now, of course, our side, we're winning. We don't need it, but to get the claim settled, that is one of the conditions. So, you can talk about aspects of a claim. You just can't pull that insurance company. Insurance company wants it settled because, look, it's bad for them. Let's pretend they paid 0 and you settled at $1.8 million. They want a non-confidentiality agreement because that's great marketing, great advertising. They don't want their name put in that because that's going to create them more claims. So when you find these insurance companies out there selling a cosmetic exclusion, you got hit by really big hail. You got to take a look. Even a cosmetic exclusion, is there damage? If your car got hit by a hailstorm, are you supposed to say, oh, it's cosmetic, your car still drives? Is that right or wrong? Well, on a roof, you got to remember, a lot of times you can't see it from the ground. In lighter cases, it's just not, people aren't looking up there. So it's a new tactic and a new exclusion in a policy to, limit liability. And then when they lose on it for whatever reason, nefarious or not, or just a mistake, they want to keep it confidential. Because then you got a roofer running out there, hey, I just settled this claim. So we could still market it a little bit. We just can't exclude the insurance company because people say, oh, that was this insurance company, HBJKLMNO Insurance. And they're like, oh, I had them. Oh, they did this to me. Then they're going to call you. They want to limit that. It really is about dollars and cents in the end. James?
Yeah, I just wanted to just step in here and just say, the devil is in the details. These things are won on details. And doing the hard work. Phil and Ryan pointed it out 8 times out at that roof. I personally was on that roof probably a dozen times, and each time I discovered something different. When Phil did finally find that those hail hits in that flat roof, We cut it open right there, and what we discovered was everything underneath was turned to mush. It was basically mashed potatoes, but we could not see it at that point.
Right. One of the big things on these claims is hidden damages. You got people out there got to be aware. You might have $1 million roof, a condo association, a warehouse, an insurance company comes out and they tell you, hey, we had our engineers out and you know what? You have some minor repairs. I mean, we all want to believe and trust. But one of the big things that comes into it is you should always question authority and also always do your due diligence. And by going out there all these times, me and James were able to find moisture under the membrane, which led us to doing a moisture survey on the membranes where we picked it up all over. And that helps us when they claim. Otherwise, that damage will manifest itself. You're going to be past the statute of limitations and you're going to be paying out of pocket $500,000, $4 million. Some of these roofs are quite pricey and damages are expensive. Ryan?
And I think the other part is, who do you have as your experts, right? I mean, the experts are a big piece to getting those claims settled and making sure that you have the right people that have been in the industry long enough that can document those details and give it back to you and to the customer.
Not all experts are equal. Rooftop restoration, they're willing to come in and pay all the costs, whether they win or lose, all the costs from start to finish.
Also, you know, we're going to have a show. Our next show, we're going to talk about experts. We're going to lead in. We got a bunch of topics. We're going to jump onto it. It's that important. Remember, it's like getting in a car accident and the other person has an attorney. Oh, is that attorney an expert when you see his CV? Absolutely. But guess who he's doing work for? That person. So we're going to talk about how experts are beholden and where they derive their income to. It's great to see a fancy CV, curriculum vitae, or resume. Oh, look at all this experience. Look at this. But I worked for all these insurance companies. Remember, there's two sides to every coin. And if you're working for one side, you're going to be a little bit biased that way, possibly a lot. You're earning your income, or you're earning 10% of your income or 80% of your income. And so our next show here, we're going to have the same guest back, coming right back. And that is a wrap for this show. You're listening to Insurance Claims Radio, rooftoproofing.com, 303-997-4247 if you want a professional opinion.
Thank you for listening to Insurance Claim Radio. For more information on how to maximize your hail damage insurance claim or to contact Phil and his team, call 303-997-4247. And be sure to tune in next week for more Insurance Claim Radio.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration, 303-997-4247, 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftoprestoration.com.